Jane! They won't let me go! Jane! Jane, don't leave me! Don't leave me, Jane! Don't go away, Jane!
Calm down. Hey gang, Sunny's a little excited because we're doing a zombie movie tonight. She loves her zombies. Being a zombie herself. Yes, it's Garden of the Dead. Not as well known as a lot of the 70s zombie films that came out in the wake of Night of the Living Dead. But it's, even by those standards, it's a little bit of an oddball film. For one thing, it's only about 59 minutes, I mean, barely feature length. And it also takes about almost half the running time before you even see the zombies. A lot of stuff goes on before that. But it opens up at a prison farm where they manufacture a special brand of formaldehyde for funeral homes and other such things that use formaldehyde, science labs and things. And some of the prisoners, they like to use formaldehyde for a different reason. Yeah. Although I should mention that besides using the fumes for recreation, they're also digging a tunnel in the area where it's manufactured because some of them are planning a jailbreak. Meanwhile, we are introduced to our nominal hero, I guess, Paul Johnson, who is visited every day by his wife, Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hello, Paul. Have they told you where you're going to be transferred to yet?
No, not yet.
Yes, it seems the institution is going to be closed down and the prisoners are all going to be transferred somewhere else. And this is happening very soon, which is one reason why the inmates led by Braddock are working on their tunnel, because they want to escape before that happens. Getting back to Paul and Carol, one of the guards takes pity and allows Paul to actually step outside the gate to actually be with Carol for about 30 seconds.
Oh, baby, I'm sorry. I love you so much. I love you, Carol.
15 seconds.
Now, it should be noted, because this will come into play later in the film, that a lot of the inmates all look forward to Carol's visit because, you know, they get to see a pretty girl, or woman, I should say. And, you know, it's an all-male prison, so it's kind of a nice thing. But to get back to our story. That night, Braddock has all of his men on one side of the barracks and sends the others to the other side, and they're quite gladly to go because they don't want to be involved in the jailbreak if anything goes wrong. And Braddock offers Paul the opportunity to come with him. But Paul demurs when he finds out they're going to kill the guard that's on duty that night, who just happens to be the one that let him have 30 seconds with his wife. And Braddock doesn't take too well to that.
But McGee's out there right now.
Who are you concerned about, McGee or us? McGee has a gun, we need a gun. Oh, I remember McGee let you hold your old lady for a little while. I see.
Yep. Paul's out of the action now. Guess he wasn't really our hero. Well, Braddock and his men head for the escape while the other prisoners let Paul bleed out on the floor because they don't want to get involved or alert. Anyway, the prisoners then go to get their gun. Pretty jazzy score, huh? Anyway, they get to their tunnel, and while everybody's slipping away, one of them, the one who has the gun, just wants to get one more last hit off the formaldehyde hose, and that will have some bad consequences when they're getting away across the fields.
What's that? Nolan, come on!
Well, this alerts the warden and the guards, and the warden goes to check the barracks and is ticked off to find he's got a prisoner stabbed, prisoners that didn't tell him anything, and escapees. So he sets out to search for the escaping prisoners. Meanwhile, they make it to a truck that they got a key for, and one of them shoots Nolan because he kind of alerted everybody. And eventually they get the truck started. It kind of stalls. And we then get a chase and shootout. Probably. This is the most exciting part of the film. Well, till we get to the climax. And it's where things really start to pick up. Okay, not so much a shootout as just a basic massacre as they kill them all. Then he has some prisoners go and bury them into the garden that the prison used. Not going to need it much anymore anyways, since they're being closed down. And as punishment for the men who did not alert him to the escape, he has them chained out in the front yard where he's going to give them all just bread and water for 3 days. If you talk back, it'd be 4. Yeah, see? Anyway, it's at this point, finally, the zombies come. Oh, hey, calm down. How deep did they bury them? Like 2 inches? Anyway, as you noticed, they are not the flesh-eating kind. So all you fans of gut munching, you're going to be disappointed. They mostly just strangle people. But they do know how to use tools, too. Well, after they've killed everyone that was burying them, and the guard on duty, they themselves head back towards the camp because they kind of need the formaldehyde to keep going. Meanwhile, the doctor of the camp has patched up Paul, and then he's gone to see Carol at the trailer park to let her know that Paul's okay. And after he leaves, the zombies arrive. Once the trailer park owners are taken care of, they turn their sights on Carol. And this is where their attraction to her starts to come into play. As you see there, they didn't attack her. They didn't try to break in. They just wanted to look at her, like they always have. And they let her get away. Now, that's called foreshadowing. Remember that. Meanwhile, she gets back to the camp and is hysterical. And they don't think she's making much sense and think she's crazy. Then one of the guards thinks he sees one of the dead men that he shot down off in the distance. And he calls over, and then if other people show up, and I don't see anyone there. Meanwhile, the zombies have gotten back in through the tunnel and are fortifying themselves for the battle ahead. Well, they try to phone out, find the phones are dead. Then the zombies make their first attack where they start to disable cars, and they notice they have a weakness.
The light. That light on the floor. The light is killing her.
They also go down pretty easy if you shoot them in the chest. No brain shots necessary at this time. Anyway, that discovery will have to wait, because first they have to get the prisoners that were chained up in the front yard loose so that they can put them with the rest of the prisoners. And disaster strikes.
I want you to run to the generator plant, and I want you to remain there. Remain there with the rest of them.
Well, with the warden now dead, Sergeant Jablonski takes charge. And he and the last prisoner make it over to the warden's office, where Paul, Carol, and the doctor are also held up. And he has the guard in the tower keep the spotlight shining down on them. And the men in the generator room keep trying to get the generator to stop cutting in and out, because it's an old generator. Then, when Jablonski is trying to make it from the office to the generator room, he makes another discovery of weakness for the zombies. Yes, it's that old infatuation again. Meanwhile, this allows Jablonski to get back into the warden's office. There he tries to come up with another idea. Braddock and the zombies, meanwhile, they gather up all the formaldehyde. It's gotta be an amusing scene. They wheel it all to the front of the warden's office. Once again fortified, Braddock begins demanding they send out Carol. Yes, they can still talk. And this gives Jablonski the brilliant idea on how to take out all the zombies.
Carol, shoot!
I know. She always gets so sad when the zombies get killed at the end. It's okay. It's okay. Well, that was Garden of the Dead. I think it's a pretty good film. Like I said, it's rather short. And it takes a while to get going. And since this was before Dawn of the Dead, that's probably why they didn't come up with the idea of the gut munching. That really wouldn't become prevalent until the 80s. If you're hearing any loud noises, I'm actually recording this on the 3rd of July, and some people are celebrating early. Be that as it may, there's not really a lot of well-known actors in it. Any that are mostly character work in TV shows, guest starring stuff. But I like the makeup, and the effects are pretty good. When they get shot, smoke comes up out of their bodies. And it is certainly an interesting concept of getting high off of a formaldehyde concoction would turn you into a zombie if you got killed. Would have wished they were a little more resilient. I like the idea of the searchlight being painful to them and killing them, but I would have liked it if guns had not had an effect on them. That would have made it much more tense for me. But other than that, I think it's a really good film. Certainly not up there with like any of the Romero films or the Living Dead at Manchester Morgue or Burial Ground, any of the Fulci zombie movies. But as a second to third tier, I'd put it up there with like Paul Naschy's Vengeance of the Zombies and films like that. And if you get a chance, you should be able to find it on YouTube or probably Amazon or somewhere. It's becoming more available these days than it was when it first came out. Well, that's all I have to say for this episode. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. And please stay after for the credits for my favorite scene. Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
God.